following story is meant for a general audience. I repeat, this video is for general audiences, not strictly kids. So fuck off! The bright summer sun bloomed across the island of Sodor, and all of the engines were working their hardest. One morning, Sir Topham had arrived at the sheds unexpectedly. The engines understood that the controller's busiest time of the year was during the summer, but they knew if he arrived at the sheds, it meant something important. "Good evening," he began. "As I'm sure you're all aware, the workers for the reballasting effort had been temporarily laid off, and regretfully, I wasn't able to get all of the workmen back. But that, of course, leads to my second announcement. I have decided to buy another engine." The engines were excited. "What does this new engine look like?" Gordon asked. "Are they shiny like me, sir?" James said. "Are they big and strong?" Henry added. "Well, you all won't have to wait long. He's just been repaired, and he should be arriving about now." And with a big puff of steam, Tanner, puffing out of the yard, slowed to a crawl and stopped in front of the turntable. Sir Topham Hatt introduced him. "I would like you all to meet Tanner. During my holiday in Brighton, I was able to save him from the cutter's torch, and he is just the engine I need to pick up speed on the reballasting effort. Now I have places to be. I would appreciate if you all gave Tanner a warm welcome." As Sir Topham Hatt left, the engines did just that. "Welcome to Sodor. It's nice to meet you," Thomas started. "It's nice to meet you all too," he said. "And I must say, I am very grateful to be here." Tanner, after being turned around, slowly backed into one of the shed berths. He wasn't a big tank engine, but he was certainly longer than Thomas. "You're quite big for a tank engine," Percy said. "Well," Tanner responded, "I was built for mixed traffic services." "How many passenger trains have you pulled?" Duck chimed in. "Not an awful lot, but I can't count them." "How big were the goods trains you pulled?" Thomas interjected. "They weren't too long for me to handle, but they were quite big." The big engines watched the conversation silently. It was only after Tanner left the sheds that Gordon started complaining. "Out of all of the engines Sir Topham Hatt could have chosen, it was a tank engine." "Did you hear some of his answers?" "I don't know, but they were quite big." "He's clearly bluffing about how strong he is." "Sir Topham's oversight is disgraceful," said Gordon. "Disgusting," put in James. "Despicable," Henry muttered. They looked back at Henry, confused. "Both of you are despicable," Henry said. "Whatever do you mean?" Gordon asked. "What's gotten into you, Henry?" "Nothing has," he said. "If anybody is out of line, it's you two. Haven't you listened to a single word the Fat Controller said? Tanner's lucky to be on Sodor. He'd be in pieces if he were still on the mainland now." "I do sympathize with him on that part," Gordon said. "But there are many other engines he could have saved as well. It's injustice, I tell you. Was it injustice when Thomas first arrived? Was it injustice when Percy and Duck came as well? Because if it was, they shouldn't be here." Gordon and James fumed. "That's not what I meant," Gordon growled. "You're twisting our words," James added. Henry, who had nothing else left to say, wheezed loudly and left the sheds. As soon as Henry was gone, Gordon went into a whisper. "I have an idea." James listened closely. "I say we test if Tanner is bluffing or not. Let us find a way to purposefully get out of doing our work. to see if Tanner is capable of doing jobs like ours. And what if he can't? James asked. Then for sure Sir Topham Hatt will find a proper engine to do that work. The two engines grinned, and their plan was set in motion. The next day, James was supposed to wake up early and take a goods train to Brendam. But as soon as James came out of the sheds, he started wailing. Stop! Stop! Something hurts! His driver and fireman backed him into the sheds and quickly inspected him, but found nothing wrong. Are you sure there's something bothering you, James? Yes! He yelped. I'm fairly sure. And so, James didn't come out of the shed, and Sir Topham Hatt, realizing only one engine was available, went over to tell Tanner. James was meant to take a goods train today, but he's currently indisposed. I would like you to cover his train. Will you be able to do that? Yes, sir, Tanner said. Will do, sir. James watched from a distance as Tanner slowly backed up to the goods train. Tanner was coupled up, the guard's whistle blew, and with one big heave, Tanner was able to pull the train out of the station by himself. James was left speechless. And later that night, when James brought it up, Gordon didn't believe it. Your train was too small anyway. Of course he'd be able to pull a train like that. Well, then maybe you should go next then, Gordon, 'cause I saw what I saw. Henry, who was pretending to be asleep, heard everything and quickly thought of a plan. And next morning, Henry started groaning. Oh, I don't feel well. Henry's driver and fireman were confused. But you haven't been ill in years. Are you sure you're ill? Yes, I'm completely sure. But before Henry's crew could go and tell Sir Topham Hatt, he whispered the plan to them, and they immediately knew what to do next. Henry's crew claims he's sick, said the station master. Is that so? Said Sir Topham Hatt. They also want a private word with you, sir. Well, bring them in. Once Henry's crew made it to his office, they quickly informed Sir Topham Hatt about the plan. I strongly disapprove of such behavior, but I'll let this one slide. Sir Topham then made his way up to Tanner again. Henry's taken ill. He can't pull his heavy goods today. You're the only engine available. Are you sure you can pull a train like this? Yes, sir, Tanner said. I can, sir. Then it's settled. Henry watched Tanner crawl out of the sheds. It had been raining that day, and Henry was secretly worried that Tanner wouldn't be able to pull the train. Soon enough, he was coupled up, and the guard's whistle blew. Tanner gave a great heave, and at first, he struggled and was only able to move the train a few inches. And Henry could tell without looking at Gordon that he was smirking. And to Henry's surprise, after Tanner's second heave, the train started moving. And later that night, James tried to convince Gordon again, but he wouldn't budge. And Henry, pretending to be asleep again, listened closely. I saw how he struggled on his first heave. There must have been another engine helping him at the back. There's no way he was able to pull it. I was in the yard today, Gordon. There was no one at the back except a brake van. You have to believe me now. Stuff and nonsense, Gordon roared. Tanner is bluffing, and I will make sure of it tomorrow. The next day came, and unlike James and Henry, Gordon crawled his way out of the sheds. Gordon's plan was to deliberately struggle on the hill and hope that Tanner was the banker that day. So Gordon waited and waited at the platform, but neither his coaches or the guard came. Blast, he said. Where is my coaches? And where is the guard? Well, they're certainly not waiting for you, came a voice. And to his surprise, Sir Topham Hatt stood on the platform. If you must know, Gordon, there was a last-minute change to the schedule. And you were assigned to pull a ballast train today." "That's preposterous," Gordon said. "Then who will take the express?" Gordon heard two familiar whistles, and to his shock, Tanner and Henry pulled up on the platform beside him. Gordon was dumbfounded. "Since you and James wanted to play railway director this week, I swapped your jobs for Tanner's. If you really think he's incapable of his job, you will take his train." But, sir, no buts, Sir Topham Hatt said. "You will do as you are told. If you do not do the jobs that I assign to you, you will be shut in the shed for a month. Do I make myself clear?" "Yes, sir," Gordon said. As Gordon backed down onto the ballast train, he watched Tanner and Henry couple up to the express and cruise out of the station. The next day, Sir Topham Hatt made James and Gordon stay in the shed for the entire day. And out of the two frowning engines in the shed, Gordon had the biggest frown of all.